Well, hello, everybody. Here we are again. November has now started. Can you believe it? We're actually almost through this whole year. How are you doing, Jay, today?
Doing good. Yeah, this little dusting
Excellent.
of snow here is going to make things challenging today. But hey, we're in November. What do you expect?
We're in November. And so we've got the October 2024 stats, and there's a few interesting stories in the numbers here as we look at the greater Edmonton area, the amount of inventory, the number of sales, what's going on with prices. Jay, how about you explain a bit of it to us?
Sure, sounds good. So, kind of as we alluded to last month, we were going to watch these two sort of indicators, inventory and our sales month over to month, to see if what we'd seen, last month is going to carry through. And you know what? It hasn't. Inventory has dropped about 10%, 10.1%. We're down to 5,125 in the greater Edmonton area for October of 2024. And sales responded kind of like we thought. Sales have bumped up 10.3% month over month. We're up to 2,489. So now, putting this into context, right? 2,489 for sales, and we're looking at our inventory number here. We are still at a seller's market. 2 months of inventory is what we've got to deal with here right now.
That turns it into a seller's market, doesn't it, Jay?
Yeah, it's very much a seller's market for sure. So, as we're looking to these sort of numbers here, year to date, like where are we at and what's happening, as you can see, 27.5% October numbers, right? 25,000. So, versus October of last year, up 27.5%. These numbers are huge, and we still have a lot of steam here in Edmonton. Our neighbors to the south of us are having a little bit of a different experience, but for Edmonton, I mean, the numbers are definitely promising for sure. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. For the last couple of years, Calgary has been having much shorter or much lower amounts of inventory relative to sales. The months of inventory in September, I think, is when it crossed over in Calgary to be 2 months for the first time, and is trending actually toward almost 3 months in October. And then the year-to-date sales, I did an analysis for Calgary, and it's within about 5% of the year before. And I think at the end of September, when I last looked at it, Calgary's year to date was a little bit below the previous year. So
Yeah.
Edmonton seems to be receiving more interest. It's obviously still more affordable than Calgary, with great jobs. And so maybe there's a bit, maybe that's the story behind that. Now, before we move on to the next segment of this, if you do like this content, please click like on the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you can get more of this content every single week. Okay, so we're talking about days of inventory, right? 2 months
Yeah.
inventory. What does that look like as we break it down into the different segments?
Yeah. So if we can look at our numbers here. And so I like to have, I like to step back, look year over year, right? So for a detached home, October of 23, 43 versus 38 doesn't seem like a lot, but it is actually a pretty drastic change. And as we're going down, we're starting to see where our appetite has changed year over year. Semi-detached from 47 down to 29. That's a big shift.
That's
41 to
massive. Yeah.
35 for a row house. Yeah. And then apartment condos, like it's crazy, right? 45 to 61, another really big shift. So we're seeing these two sections of the market that kind of have a bit more pressure on it, maybe than others, right? So rate of change, what does the rate of change look like and what does it mean for us? And I mean, these are numbers as well, right? So we look at the prices, month over month down 0.3, but year over year, we're still up a healthy 11.7% for detached. I do expect that we're still going to see continued support here. And I actually do think year over year, we're going to change a little bit more yet in the next couple of months, but time will tell. Semi-detached, we're down 0.1% year over year, 8.9%. Row houses still, this thing's just been awesome, right? 7.6%. We've kind of, we had a harder month last month, but here we are back up 7.6 year over year, 23.3%.
That's the
Awesome.
big story in the bunch, isn't it? Holy cow.
Yeah. Yeah. And apartments are still up, right? Down 4.7, but year over year, 7.3. Overall, it's been a really healthy year in Alberta, or sorry, in Edmonton here. As you can see, all these year over year numbers look great. So we're excited to see what happens for the last part of this month. So let's just dive into some sort of prices, right? Detached home, not a huge amount of change, as we've just alluded to, down a little bit from 507 to 505 for the month of October. Semi-detached, this price, this market's really got a lot of pressure on. As you can see, held strong, still holding at 407. Even though we're into this fall month of October, there's still some buyers hanging around for the semi-detached homes.
Yeah, I'm seeing we're not really lowering at all in most of the property types. And in the fall, typically prices actually do go down, but
Yeah.
sales are up and prices are steady. That's unusual.
Yeah, there's we do have these underlying factors, but I think this interest, the big drop, the interest rate has definitely continued to allow the momentum to keep going. So spring market's going to be exciting this year. As we talked about townhouses, right? We've seen that dip in September to 289, all the way back up to 311, and it's a new number, right, from May. So this is really good to see this price on these townhouses, and it does give us an idea of what the market's looking for. Apartments still very affordable. 181 is the average here in Greater Edmonton, down from 190. Still not a huge amount. So overall, though, we've had a really nice October month. There's great for sellers, as we've talked about. Buyers are still sort of struggling to find the right home. If you are a seller, what we have found is, like, if you're overly optimistic, if you overprice your home, if you think it's better than it actually is, the buyers are rejecting it. And so I think what we're going to find is we'll see some still houses that have been sitting on the market for a while. The ones that are priced right are coming on, coming off. The buyers know what they're looking for. They're still patient. Stampede hasn't started, but it'll be interesting to see what happens here in the next couple of months.
So it's been an exciting fall. No downward movement much this year, and the spring market is just around the corner. It kind of feels wrong to talk about spring just as winter's coming, but it's not very far away. So stay tuned. We're going to come back at you every week with more of these videos. Again, if you like this material, please click like on the video, comment below, we'll respond, and please subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for notifications, and we'll see you again next week.
Thank you.